Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when you must stop explaining yourself to people who are determined not to understand you. There comes a moment when you realize the best answer to doubt, criticism, and betrayal is not anger, not words, not revenge, but massive success. You see, every one of us has been underestimated at some point. Someone told you that you're not smart enough, not strong enough, not capable enough. Someone laughed when you shared your dream. But let me tell you something powerful. Those same people will one day ask you how you did it. Life doesn't reward excuses, it rewards results. You can't control who talks about you, but you can control how you respond. You can respond with discipline. You can respond with focus. You can respond with excellence. That's the kind of revenge the universe respects. Stop wasting your energy proving people wrong. Start proving yourself right. Because when you rise, when you grow, when you win, you silence every critic without saying a single word. Success makes noise that words never can. Every obstacle you face is not there to break you. It's there to build you. Every delay, every rejection, every disappointment is shaping you into someone unstoppable. Don't run from your pain. Turn it into power. Don't cry over your losses. Use them as lessons. The people who laughed at you will one day applaud you. The road to success is not crowded because most people quit when it gets hard. But not you. You've come too far. You've endured too much, and you've been through too many silent battles to stop now. Stand tall. Hold your head high. Let your success speak for itself. Because the truth is, revenge doesn't come from bitterness. It comes from bettering yourself. It's when you transform your struggle into strength, your pain into passion, and your failure into fuel. That's how you win. That's how you conquer. That's how you rise above every limitation ever placed upon your life. There's a power that comes when you decide to stop chasing validation and start chasing vision. When you stop responding to every critic, every rumor, every voice that tries to tell you what you can't do, and instead, you channel that energy into your purpose. That's when you begin to understand the real meaning behind the words. Success is the loudest revenge. You see, too many people waste precious time trying to explain themselves to those who have already made up their minds. They argue, they defend, they justify, and in the process, they lose focus. They forget that success doesn't need an announcement. It needs work, patience, and faith. The most powerful statement you can ever make is the quiet, undeniable proof of your progress. When you rise, when you grow, when you win, the noise fades and the results speak for themselves. Every person who doubted you becomes a silent witness to your evolution. Every critic becomes an audience member in your success story. The same mouths that said you couldn't will whisper your name in admiration. But that transformation only happens when you choose not to fight them on their level. You fight back by rising above, by improving yourself, by refusing to quit when it hurts, and by showing that your actions are stronger than their opinions. Revenge is a small fire. It burns hot, but it burns out fast. Success, on the other hand, is an eternal flame. It lights your path, warms your spirit, and illuminates the darkness others tried to throw around you. When you choose success as your revenge, you're no longer reacting. You're creating. You're not controlled by anger or pride. You're driven by purpose. There will always be people who underestimate you. Some will doubt your abilities. Others will resent your ambition. Some will pretend to support you while secretly hoping for your failure. That's part of life. But the wise don't fight battles with words. They fight with results. They understand that time exposes everything: the truth, the lies, and the value of every effort. And when time reveals your success, it silences every voice that ever tried to hold you back. Success is the ultimate silence breaker. It doesn't need you to say, "I told you so." It doesn't need you to remind anyone what they said about you. It simply exists as undeniable evidence of what hard work, consistency, and belief can do. The same people who once ignored you will now pay attention. The same doors that were closed will open. The same opportunities that seemed impossible will suddenly become available. But understand this: success doesn't come from the desire to prove others wrong. It comes from the determination to prove yourself right. When your focus shifts from revenge to results, everything changes. You stop seeking approval and start seeking excellence. You stop being driven by pain and start being powered by purpose. That's the real transformation. The moment you stop responding to negativity and start responding to your calling, your energy becomes unstoppable. Every hour you invest in your growth becomes a statement. Every small victory becomes a message. Every step forward says, "I'm not who I used to be." Because the best way to get revenge is to become everything they said you couldn't. There's beauty in quiet progress. There's strength in silent hustle. There's grace in letting your success do the talking. You don't need to shout. You don't need to convince. You don't need to fight every battle that's thrown at you. All you need to do is rise, with discipline, with focus, with relentless consistency. When you're focused on your purpose, you stop giving energy to distractions. You stop explaining your dreams to people who don't see your vision. You stop apologizing for wanting more out of life. And that's when you begin to see your true power. Because while others are talking, you're building. While they're criticizing, you're growing. While they're watching, you're winning. Success is not just about money or fame. It's about peace. It's about walking into a room knowing you became everything you said you would be, without needing anyone's permission or validation. It's about looking back at the journey and realizing that every painful moment, every setback, and every rejection was part of your preparation. When you start living with purpose, you no longer chase revenge. It happens naturally. The same people who tried to pull you down will now use your name as an example of what's possible. The same people who doubted you will now say, "I always believed in you." And you'll smile, not out of arrogance, but out of understanding. Because success teaches you that you never needed revenge in the first place. All you ever needed was focus, faith, and fire in your heart to keep moving forward no matter what. Success doesn't argue. Success doesn't explain. Success doesn't shout. It simply shows up, undeniable, unstoppable, unshakable. That's the sound of true revenge. It's the silence that follows your victory, the respect that follows your resilience, and the peace that follows your perseverance. Ladies and gentlemen, pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher, your refiner, your reminder that something within you is meant to grow stronger. Every great success story begins with pain. The pain of rejection, the pain of failure, the pain of being misunderstood. It's easy to see pain as punishment, but it's not. Pain is preparation. It's shaping you, stretching you, and positioning you for the strength you'll need to carry your success when it arrives. There are moments when life will hit you so hard that you'll question if you have the strength to rise again. You'll feel alone, forgotten, even betrayed. But remember this: diamonds are formed under pressure, and gold is purified by fire. The greater your purpose, the greater the pressure. The fire you're feeling is not there to destroy you. It's there to develop you. Pain reveals what comfort hides. It exposes your limits, then dares you to break them. Every person who has achieved greatness has walked through pain. Not around it, not over it, through it. Because there's a kind of wisdom, a kind of hunger, a kind of focus that only pain can teach you. When everything falls apart, when plans fail, when people walk away, that's when you meet the real version of yourself. That's when you discover strength you never knew you had. Pain strips away your excuses and forces you to find power within. You see, pain doesn't stop you. It shapes you. Every heartbreak, every loss, every disappointment becomes raw material for your growth. The pain that once made you cry will one day make you wise. The tears that once blurred your vision will one day sharpen your purpose. The rejections that once broke your confidence will one day build your resilience. But that transformation only happens when you stop running from pain and start learning from it. Most people want success without struggle. They want results without resistance. But there's no growth without discomfort. Muscles only grow through tension, minds only expand through challenge, and souls only mature through pain. Every time life tests you, it's asking, how bad do you want it? It's testing your commitment to your dreams. It's asking whether your desire to win is stronger than your fear of losing. Pain can paralyze you, or it can push you. It depends on how you respond. Some people let pain break them. Others use it to build themselves. When you decide to turn pain into power, you take control of your story. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a fighter. You stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? Because every wound carries a lesson, and every lesson carries the seed of strength. Think about it. The strongest trees grow in the toughest winds. The most beautiful souls are those that have been through storms but refuse to fall. When life throws you to the ground, it's not the end. It's the beginning of your rise. Pain gives birth to power when you use it to grow, to learn, to evolve. When you use it to push harder, to reach higher, to believe deeper. There's a version of you that exists on the other side of pain. A wiser, tougher, more focused version. But you'll never meet that version if you keep running from your challenges. You have to face the struggle, embrace the discomfort, and let it refine you. Because the very thing that feels like it's breaking you might be building the foundation of your strength. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every delay is a divine detour toward your destiny. Every painful chapter is part of a bigger story, a story of endurance, courage, and transformation. Sometimes you have to lose what you thought you needed to find what truly matters. Sometimes you have to walk through darkness to appreciate the light. Pain introduces you to your power by stripping away everything that's weak, fake, or temporary. When you turn pain into power, you stop allowing your circumstances to define you. You define yourself by how you respond. You learn to transform frustration into focus, fear into fuel, and doubt into determination. You learn to move forward even when it hurts. That's how warriors are made. They don't deny the pain, they use it. They take the sting of rejection and convert it into drive. They take the ache of failure and turn it into wisdom. Pain also builds empathy. When you've been through struggle, you understand the struggle of others. You gain compassion. You gain perspective. And that gives your success purpose. Because power without compassion destroys, but power born from pain inspires. The most powerful people aren't those who've never suffered. They're the ones who've turned suffering into strength. Sometimes the greatest gift pain gives you is clarity. It removes the distractions, the pretenders, the noise. It shows you who's real, what's important, and where your priorities should be. Pain forces you to focus on growth. It demands change. It pushes you to rise. Because when comfort ends, transformation begins. Every scar tells a story, not of weakness, but of survival. Every time you rise after falling, you become more unshakable. The pain that once felt unbearable becomes proof that you can endure anything. You stop fearing challenges because you've already conquered the hardest one, refusing to quit when it hurt the most. That's what it means to turn pain into power. To take every heartbreak, every failure, every disappointment, and convert it into energy that fuels your rise. To use every dark moment as motivation to build a brighter future. To understand that your pain wasn't sent to stop you. It was sent to strengthen you. Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in your life when you must make a choice. To live by the opinions of others or to live by the conviction within you. Too many people spend their energy trying to prove others wrong. They fight against doubt, criticism, and judgment, hoping that one day their success will silence every voice that ever said they couldn't. But the truth is, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your greatest mission is not to prove others wrong. It's to prove yourself right. When you chase success only to prove others wrong, your energy becomes reactive. You move from anger, from frustration, from the desire to be seen. But when you pursue success to prove yourself right, your energy becomes pure. It comes from purpose. It comes from vision. It comes from that quiet voice inside that says, "I was born for more." That's the voice that sustains you when things get tough, when no one's watching, when everything seems to fall apart. Proving yourself right is about alignment. Aligning your actions with your potential. It means believing in the promise within you, even when people don't believe in you. It means knowing your worth even when others can't see it. Because the truth is, no one can define what you're capable of except you. People may doubt your dreams, question your choices, or underestimate your abilities. But their opinions don't determine your destiny. Your decisions do. When you focus on proving others wrong, your motivation depends on their disbelief. You become driven by their opinions, and once they stop doubting, you lose your drive. But when you focus on proving yourself right, your motivation comes from within, and that fire never goes out. It's steady, consistent, unshakable. It doesn't fade when applause stops or when critics disappear. It keeps burning because it's fueled by your own belief. There will always be people who don't understand your vision. They don't see what you see. They don't feel what you feel. And they don't carry the same dream that keeps you awake at night. And that's okay. It's not their vision to understand. It's yours to fulfill. When you live to prove yourself right, you stop explaining. You stop convincing. You stop seeking validation. You simply build, you create, you grow, and you let your results speak for themselves. Every time you doubt yourself, remember the reason you started. Remember the goals you set when no one believed in you. Remember the nights you stayed up dreaming about a better life. Those moments are not random. They're reminders of your potential. When you choose to prove yourself right, you're saying, "I believe in my future more than I fear my failure." You're saying, "I trust my path even when it's lonely." You're saying, "I don't need permission to become who I'm meant to be." The truth is, life will always test your belief. You'll face rejection, setbacks, and people who don't see your value. But every challenge is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can rise again. When you fall and get back up, when you fail and still move forward, when you're overlooked and still show up. That's how you prove yourself right. That's how you show the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you have what it takes. Proving yourself right is not about ego. It's about evolution. It's about honoring the potential you've been given. It's about refusing to settle for mediocrity when greatness is possible. Every time you grow beyond your limits, every time you learn a new skill, every time you refuse to quit, you are proving to yourself that you can do what once seemed impossible. That's the kind of victory no critic can take away. Stop seeking validation from people who don't understand your struggle. Some will never give you the credit you deserve because acknowledging your success reminds them of their own fear to try. Don't let that stop you. Don't let their disbelief distract you from your destiny. Your journey is not about being liked. It's about becoming who you were meant to be. The greatest satisfaction doesn't come from proving others wrong. It comes from living in full alignment with your purpose. When you start proving yourself right, you stop chasing recognition and start chasing growth. You stop asking, "What will they think?" and start asking, "What will I become?" That shift changes everything. It brings peace, it brings focus, it brings power. Because now your worth isn't tied to the noise of others. It's rooted in the truth you've discovered about yourself. Proving yourself right means showing up even when no one's clapping. It means believing even when results are slow. It means pushing through fear, doubt, and discomfort because you know deep down, this is what you were made for. It means trusting that your journey has purpose, even when the road feels uncertain. It's about knowing that your dreams were placed in your heart for a reason, and that reason is not up for debate. Every great achiever had to reach a point where they stopped trying to prove others wrong. They realized that the real competition was within. It wasn't about being better than others. It was about being better than who they were yesterday. Every day, they challenged themselves to rise higher, to dig deeper, to learn more, to grow stronger. That's the essence of proving yourself right. Continuous improvement. It's the relentless pursuit of your best self. Because the moment you stop chasing approval, you gain power, you gain clarity, you gain peace of mind. You start to realize that your dream doesn't need to make sense to anyone but you. You stop reacting to doubt and start responding with action. You stop defending your vision and start demonstrating it through progress. You stop living to be seen and start living to become. And when that happens, something incredible unfolds inside you. You no longer depend on the applause of others to feel worthy. You no longer wait for validation to move forward. You no longer measure your value by opinions or comparisons. You simply wake up each day with one mission: to live up to your own potential, to honor your own promise, to prove yourself right in the face of every obstacle life throws your way. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to build a life of greatness, you must understand one truth. Emotion is temporary, but discipline is permanent. Emotion changes with the weather, but discipline stays even when the storm comes. Your emotions may tell you to stop when things get hard, but your discipline reminds you why you started. That's the difference between people who wish for success and people who work for it. Most people never reach their potential not because they lack talent, but because they lack consistency. They rely on motivation, and motivation fades. It's easy to feel inspired when things are going right, when you get the praise, when you see progress, and when the path feels clear. But when the excitement fades, when you're tired, when no one's watching, That's where discipline separates the weak from the strong. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up early when the bed feels warm. It's studying when you'd rather relax. It's training when no one is cheering. Discipline doesn't care about comfort. It cares about commitment. Emotion whispers, "Take it easy." Discipline answers, "Keep going." Emotion says, "You've done enough." Discipline says, "You're just getting started." Success belongs to the disciplined. Every great athlete, every successful entrepreneur, every visionary leader has built their empire on one foundation: self-control. Because the truth is, your feelings can't always be trusted. Feelings change, but habits build. Discipline turns effort into excellence and consistency into confidence. Every small act of discipline strengthens your mind, builds your character, and pushes you closer to your destiny. When you rely on emotion, you become a slave to your mood. When you build discipline, you become the master of your actions. Emotion tells you to quit when it hurts. Discipline reminds you that pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. Emotion will tell you that progress is too slow. Discipline will remind you that small steps still move you forward. Emotion seeks instant gratification. Discipline values long-term rewards. There will be days when you don't feel motivated, when life feels heavy, when nothing seems to go your way. On those days, your discipline is your weapon. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you focused. It reminds you that commitment means staying loyal to what you said you would do long after the mood you set it in has left you. Discipline is not punishment. It's training for greatness. It's the price you pay today to enjoy freedom tomorrow. Think about it. Emotion is like fire. It burns bright, but it can burn out fast if it's not controlled. Discipline is the container that keeps that fire alive, steady, and useful. Without discipline, emotion turns into chaos. But with discipline, emotion becomes fuel. Fuel to keep going, fuel to keep improving, fuel to keep pushing when everything inside you wants to stop. Discipline is the difference between wishing and winning. Everyone wishes to be successful, but few are willing to do what success requires. It's not about how you feel. It's about what you do regardless of how you feel. You can't wait for the perfect mood to take action, because progress doesn't wait for your emotions to align. The disciplined don't wait for motivation. They create momentum through consistent effort. There's a reason the most successful people in the world live by routines. They've learned that structure creates freedom. Discipline gives you control over your time, your energy, and your mind. It protects you from distraction. It helps you stay on course when others drift. While most people waste time chasing comfort, disciplined people build their future one action at a time. When emotion drives you, you make excuses. When discipline drives you, you make progress. Emotion says, "I'll do it later." Discipline says, "I'll do it now." Emotion looks for the easy route. Discipline takes the right route. Emotion gives up at resistance. Discipline thrives on resistance because it knows that pressure creates strength. Every time you choose discipline over emotion, you take control of your destiny. Discipline is also the highest form of self-respect. It means you care enough about your future to do the hard things today. It means you value your potential enough to protect it from laziness and distraction. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. You will have days where you fall short, but discipline teaches you to get back up, to keep showing up, to stay consistent even when it's not easy. Your emotions will try to convince you that it's okay to settle, that you've done enough, that you deserve to stop. But discipline has a different voice. It reminds you that your purpose is bigger than your comfort, that your dreams are worth the sacrifice, that every minute you invest in growth compounds into greatness. Discipline is the quiet strength behind every extraordinary success. The difference between people who achieve their goals and those who don't isn't intelligence or luck. It's discipline. It's the daily decision to do what's necessary, even when it's boring, tiring, or inconvenient. Discipline is what gets you up when others stay down. It's what keeps you moving when everyone else has given up. It's what turns ordinary people into legends. There will be times when your emotions scream, "It's too hard." That's when discipline whispers, "Keep going." There will be moments when you feel unseen and unappreciated. That's when discipline reminds you, you're not doing it for recognition, you're doing it for results. There will be days when motivation disappears, when nothing excites you, when everything feels heavy. That's when discipline steps in to carry you. Emotion starts the journey, but discipline finishes it. Emotion gives you inspiration, but discipline gives you transformation. Emotion helps you begin, but discipline helps you endure. It's not what you do when you feel inspired that defines your success. It's what you do when you feel nothing at all. That's where character is built. That's where greatness is born. Discipline is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. It's the difference between saying someday and saying today. It's what transforms potential into progress and passion into performance. When you learn to act beyond emotion, to stay steady in chaos, and to remain focused in distraction, you become unstoppable. Ladies and gentlemen, life will not always be fair. You will face moments that shake your faith, seasons that test your strength, and people who challenge your peace. But in every storm, there's a simple truth you must remember. Rise above and keep moving forward. No matter what happens, no matter who doubts you, no matter how hard it gets, your job is to keep rising. Because the only true defeat in life is giving up before your breakthrough. Rising above doesn't mean ignoring pain. It means refusing to let pain define you. It's standing tall in the face of disappointment, not because you're unbreakable, but because you've decided that your purpose is greater than your problems. Every challenge, every criticism, every closed door is not there to stop you. It's there to strengthen you. Each setback is a setup for your growth. When life pushes you down, it's not asking you to quit. It's testing how badly you want to rise. There will be times when people misunderstand you, when they question your intentions, when they talk behind your back. Let them. Their opinions don't determine your outcome. Their doubts don't define your destiny. What matters is your response. Not to fight back, not to prove them wrong, but to rise higher. To take the high road, to show that your vision is greater than their noise. Because success is not found in revenge, but in resilience. Rising above means understanding that you can't control everything around you, but you can control how you react. You can't stop storms from coming, but you can choose how to sail through them. You can't make everyone believe in you, but you can keep believing in yourself. Strength isn't found in avoiding struggle. It's found in surviving it and still choosing to move forward. That's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The path to greatness is never smooth. You'll stumble, you'll fall, and you'll fail. But that's okay. Falling doesn't make you weak. Staying down does. Every time you rise, you build resilience. Every time you move forward despite fear, you build courage. Every time you keep going when others stop, you build character. And that character becomes the foundation of your future. Sometimes you'll walk alone. The people you expected to stand with you may turn away. The ones you helped may forget you. But even when you stand alone, you must keep moving forward. Because destiny is not a group journey. It's a personal mission. The people who doubt you today may admire you tomorrow, but you'll never see that moment if you stop now. Keep walking. Keep pushing. Keep believing that every step, no matter how small, is progress. When you rise above, you stop wasting energy on battles that don't matter. You stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. You stop reacting to negativity and start responding with excellence. That's how you win. Not by fighting, but by focusing. Not by complaining, but by creating. Not by tearing others down, but by building yourself up. The higher you climb, the quieter it gets, because success doesn't need to shout. You will face rejection, but rejection is redirection. You will face pain, but pain is preparation. You will face loss, but loss teaches appreciation. Everything that happens to you is either a lesson or a ladder. A lesson to learn from or a ladder to climb higher. When you rise above, you begin to see that the obstacles were never there to block your path. They were there to build your path. Moving forward requires faith. Faith that tomorrow will be better than today. Faith that your efforts are not wasted. Faith that the struggle you're facing has a purpose. Even when you can't see results, keep moving. Progress doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it grows quietly in the background until one day it shows up in full bloom. Your responsibility is not to control the outcome. It's to keep showing up with consistency, integrity, and courage. Rising above also means forgiving, not for others, but for yourself. Because bitterness chains you to the past, while forgiveness frees you to move into the future. Let go of the grudges, the anger, the resentment. They only weigh you down. You can't rise while carrying the weight of old pain. Every time you release something that hurts you, you gain strength to move higher. When you keep moving forward, you declare to the world that nothing can stop you. You prove that you are not defined by your failures, but by your persistence. You show that your heart is bigger than your hurt. Success doesn't come from perfection. It comes from perseverance. It's the willingness to keep walking when the path is uncertain, to keep fighting when you're tired, and to keep believing when everyone else has stopped. There's a moment in every journey where you'll feel like quitting. The progress will seem slow, the reward far away, and the effort too heavy. But that's when you must remember. Everything great requires endurance. Seeds don't grow overnight. Dreams don't happen instantly. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to your vision. Keep going. Keep building. Keep believing that your time is coming. Rising above doesn't mean life becomes easy. It means you become stronger. It means that no matter how hard life hits, you refuse to stay down. It means that you can take the criticism, endure the struggle, and still keep your focus on the goal. It's knowing that your destiny is not determined by your past, but by your persistence. It's understanding that the journey is shaping you, molding you, preparing you for something greater than you can see right now. Keep your eyes on the vision, not the distraction. Keep your heart on the mission, not the noise. Keep your feet moving, even when the road feels endless. Because every forward step you take, no matter how slow or painful, brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. The climb may be steep, the road may be lonely, but the view. So, my friends, as you walk out of this room and back into the world, remember this. Your strength isn't measured by how many times you fall, but by how many times you rise. You are not here to live an average life. You are here to rise, to grow, to inspire, and to leave a mark that no storm can erase. When the world says, "You can't," stand tall and say, "Watch me." When life knocks you down, rise stronger. When doors close, build your own. Keep moving forward with faith in your heart and fire in your soul. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how many challenges you faced. It's about how many you overcame. It's not about how dark the night was. It's about how bright you chose to shine. Rise above the noise, the doubt, the fear. Keep moving forward with courage, purpose, and hope. Your story is not over yet. The best chapters are still being written. So hold your head high, take a deep breath, and keep walking. Because you were born to rise. From the top will make every struggle worthwhile.